Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your investments made more money than your job. Not your boss, not your paycheck, your money. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the shocking truth. Almost 65% of millionaires say their investments eventually earned more than their salary. And once that happens, everything changes. Your stress changes. Your time changes. Even the way you think about money changes. But most people never reach this point. Why? Because no one ever explained what happens after your investments beat your salary. And today, we're breaking it all down. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this moment completely changes your life. Problem: why most people never reach this point. Most people live the same financial life. You work, you earn money, you pay bills. Then you repeat the cycle again next month. Your salary becomes your only source of income. And that creates a huge problem. If your job stops, your money stops. Think about that for a second. Your entire lifestyle depends on a single paycheck. That's risky. Extremely risky. In fact, a recent survey found 56% of Americans cannot handle a $1,000 emergency. Why? Because their income depends on one source only: their job. But wealthy people play a different game. They build multiple income streams. And the most powerful one is investment income. That's when your money starts working harder than you do. And eventually, something incredible happens. Your investments begin producing more money than your job. But before we talk about that moment, we need to understand why it's so powerful. Why your salary alone is dangerous. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A salary feels safe, but it's actually fragile. Your boss controls it. Your company controls it. The economy controls it. And one decision can eliminate it overnight. Layoffs happen. Companies collapse. Industries disappear. Just look at this statistic. During the 2020 pandemic, over 22 million Americans lost jobs in weeks. That's terrifying. But here where it gets interesting. Investment income works differently. Once your investments grow large enough, they begin generating passive income. Passive income means money coming in without working hours. Examples include stock dividends, real estate rent, index fund growth, business profits. And when that passive income grows larger than your salary, you cross an invisible line. A line most people never reach. It's called financial independence. And once you cross that line, your life starts changing in ways you never expected. Let's break them down. What changes when investments beat your salary? Change 1: your stress drops instantly. The first change is emotional. Your stress level drops dramatically because your survival no longer depends on your job. Imagine this. Your job pays $60,000 per year, but your investments generate $70,000 per year. If your boss fires you tomorrow, you still earn more than before. That's powerful. Most people work from fear. Fear of losing income. But investors work from choice. And that mental shift is life-changing. Change 2: you gain time freedom. Time becomes your most valuable asset again. Right now, most people trade time for money. 8 hours per day. 5 days per week. Sometimes more. But when investments beat your salary, that trade disappears. You can choose to work less or not work at all. Most people don't know this, But many millionaires continue working, not because they need money, but because they enjoy the work. That's real freedom. Working because you want to, not because you have to. Change 3. Your money starts compounding faster. Here, where things get really interesting. When your investments beat your salary, you usually stop withdrawing money. Instead, you reinvest everything. And this creates compounding growth. Compounding means your money earns money. Then that new money earns more money. For example, $100,000 invested at 8% becomes about $216,000 in 10 years. But wait, here's the surprising part. After 20 years, that same investment becomes over $466,000. Notice something. The growth speeds up over time, like a snowball rolling downhill. That's why wealthy people focus on long-term investing. Change 4. Your risk tolerance changes. Before financial independence, market crashes feel terrifying. Every drop feels painful. But after investments beat your salary, your mindset changes. You start thinking like an owner. Market drops become opportunities. Because you know something most people ignore. The stock market, historically, returns about 10% per year average. Over decades. Not days. Not weeks. Decades. So short-term panic disappears. Patience replaces fear. Change 5. You think differently about spending. When investments generate income, you start thinking differently about purchases. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" you ask a better question. What investment income am I sacrificing? For example, a $30,000 car could generate about $2,400 per year invested. That's $200 every month. Forever. So wealthy investors think carefully before spending large amounts. Because every dollar invested today creates income tomorrow. Change 6. Opportunities start finding you. Once your investments grow, new opportunities appear. Business deals, partnerships, better investments. Why? Because money attracts opportunity. Investors prefer working with people who already have capital. It signals discipline, patience, and financial intelligence. This is why wealth often accelerates after the first million. In fact, studies show the first $100,000 is the hardest milestone. After that, compounding does most of the work. Change 7. Your definition of wealth changes. At first, most people think wealth means expensive things. Luxury cars, big houses, designer brands. But after investments beat your salary, you realize something surprising. Wealth is control over your time, not possessions. You value flexibility, freedom, peace of mind, and that shift changes your entire life strategy. Because now, money becomes a tool, not a goal. Let's recap what happens when investments beat your salary. First, your stress drops dramatically. Second, you gain time freedom. Third, your money compounds faster. Fourth, your investing mindset changes. Fifth, you think differently about spending. Sixth, new opportunities appear. And finally, you redefine what wealth actually means. But remember something important. This doesn't happen overnight. It usually takes 10 to 20 years of consistent investing. Patience is the secret, not luck. If this video helped you, smash that subscribe button. Every week I reveal money secrets that your school never taught you. See you next week.